Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Arrow episode 20 video. A lot of stuff to explain with respect to the Lazarus Pit and, how it's going to affect the future of the characters, especially the big WTF decision that Oliver made. So I tried to include all that stuff. Before I do top 5 moments, I'm going to explain some of the stuff the producers said after the episode. So just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen episode 20. Here we go. So Mark Guggenheim said that Thea coming back in the Lazarus Pit is going to spill over into season 4, like the after effects. Even though it seemed like she was back to normal by the end of the episode, like she was hating Merlin's guts again, there'll be a lot more consequences that we just haven't seen yet. For the most part, I think it's going to be memory, personality trait type stuff. They've set her on the path to become Speedy, the Mia Dearden Speedy from the comics, so I think they're using this Lazarus Pit personality change to kind of course correct the character. Although if they always intended for Laurel to become the Black Canary, then maybe they always intended for Willa to become Speedy. I can't confirm the Speedy thing, but like the first season when they were hyping up Arrow season 1, they mentioned Laurel becoming Black Canary eventually. I don't remember specifically if they ever said they always intended for Willa to become Speedy. I know there's a lot of confusion with respect to the Speedy name because Speedy is also the name for Arsenal Red Arrow. Roy, just to be clear, Roy was Arsenal. He wasn't Red Arrow, and he didn't leave Arrow to go on the Teen Titans show. And no, I don't think he's going to get started on that show. That team is going to be led by Nightwing. So here we go, getting into WTF top 5 moments, starting with number 5, Willa dies on the operating table. Those first couple of scenes were just meant to tee up the impossible choice. Medical science cannot save Thea. There is only one way to do that, and that is for you to join the League of Assassins. They already spoiled it in the promo, so we knew she was going to end up in the Lazarus Pit. No mystery there, we knew she's coming back. It's not like they're killing her off the show. Merlin actually did a really good job of explaining the logic of the Lazarus Pit with respect to Arrow. He said that in rare instances, it could bring people back to life, as in, like, it's not a regular thing. You just can't bring anybody back. The way they explain it in the comics is like usually beyond a year, it's impossible to bring someone back, and the longer someone's dead, the longer they're crazy whenever they come back to life. If you compress the timeline a little bit, just assume that Willa was dead for about a day, maybe a little bit less than a day. Mark Guggenheim did confirm that they're not going to use the Lazarus Pit to bring back Tommy or Moira Queen. He didn't say anything about Katie Lotz though. He was very careful to omit Sarah from that conversation, so he neither confirmed nor denied that Sarah would be brought back via Lazarus Pit. As the timeline stands right now, it's still within that 1-year period, so, technically, if you're going on comic book logic, you could bring Sarah back via the Lazarus Pit. On to number 4, Ray and Felicity are officially done. The producers confirmed that those two characters, done forever. Not gonna happen, no more. So if you hated the two of them together, don't worry, the nightmare is over. I feel like that's a pretty good move. If you want to take the Felicity character seriously, like if you really want her to evolve, then she has to exist outside of these like ships that she's part of. Meaning that like she can't only exist inside these Elicity moments, like she has to have her own personal character moments. That gets into season 4 stuff. There've been a lot of unconfirmed rumors that Felicity's father is going to be tied up with the villain group, and that'll be a path to dive really deep into Felicity character development. As in like, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Empire type stuff. Or I guess if you want to be more specific, you would say Princess Leia. On to number 3, Oliver and Felicity finally do the thing. Even if you don't give a crap about any of the ship stuff, this is actually a really big moment. I feel like the characters have been building towards this for a while. Usually when the writers indulge this kind of stuff on TV shows, it ends up being disappointing. There have been a lot of really good ships on screen. I think my favorite ship so far was Odo and Kira from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And to be honest, I don't really think that comic book superheroes are allowed to have positive relationships. Batman is a good example. He has sexual relationships with other characters like Catwoman, but that's not a healthy relationship. It's very dysfunctional. Then you have like Talia al Ghul. He has a child, like he has a family, but it's incredibly dysfunctional. So yeah, it totally works that Oliver and Felicity get together, but it's not going to work out the way everyone thinks it's going to work out. It's going to be incredibly messed up and complicated. I saw a lot of people asking the composer of the episode on Twitter, and he confirmed that he was putting the Elicity sex music on the season 3 soundtrack whenever they release that. So it might be on the DVD. So if you're a big Elicity fan, like you will have that Elicity sex track to listen to. On to number 2, Thea is resurrected in the Lazarus Pit. This is a big step forward in expanding the Arrow canon. Like now magic officially exists. Someone has been brought back to life. They needed to get there eventually because the Vixen, the digital series they're working on, is completely based on magic, and thus far, it had not existed inside the Arrow universe. So if you have any questions about what exists, what does not exist in the Arrow universe, for the most part, it's all in there. Magic, special powers, metahumans, it's all in there. Don't expect Arrow to bring Zatanna on anytime soon, but I feel like eventually they'll get there. She really feels like she'd fit better on The Flash, where they do slightly more ridiculous things. I already explained a little bit about the consequences that Mark Guggenheim teased. I don't think we'll find out what those are till we get closer to the finale, and really, there's only a couple more episodes. It seemed like she was willing to accept Merlin's help. Like, Merlin's like, please, just let me take care of you. And she didn't say, absolutely not, so I assume that that's going to play out. Oliver is gone, though. He was like the silverback of Starling City, so I wonder if Merlin is going to step in and be something of a team leader. Right now, he is the most experienced person they have. Diggle would be the other choice, so what might end up happening is Diggle will step up and he will just like liaise with Merlin because they all still hate Merlin's guts. So it's not like they're just gonna like take him in with open arms. But Laurel's gonna want to continue with her mission as Black Canary, cleaning up the city, wearing the mask, getting better. She has her canary cry too, so she's gonna try that out pretty soon. Felicity, Ray, they're all gonna want to keep on helping people, so eventually I expect Willa to put on a mask and start helping them out too. But there needs to be like someone to help guide her. So Merlin will probably continue to train her. Diggle will probably be the one to send them all on missions, like decide which missions they take. And finally, my number one WTF moment, Oliver officially joins the League of Assassins as Al-Sahim, which just means arrow in Arabic. I like how his League of Assassins name is literally the Arrow. I just think that's funny. Did you notice he's actually still wearing the little hosen around his neck? And there was a big like light bulb moment, I feel like, in all of our heads, like collectively, when they branded him with the symbol that they've been using for season 4. Like usually it's the hosen, like the title card. That was the brand that they branded him with. So that just gives you an idea of how far in advance they planned this season. I know a lot of people criticize Arrow for borrowing from Batman stories, but Batman never became head of the League of Assassins. Typically, like when Batman was confronted with this situation, he said, no, I don't want to have anything to do with you, Ra's al Ghul. One really fun Easter egg too is that his costume, his League of Assassins costume, actually invokes a lot of his original Green Arrow costume because they light the room so warmly. Like it just, you can't make colors out, it just all looks black. But the hood and the mask here are part green. It was also really cool to listen to Ra's al Ghul explain the true meaning of the word assassin, how it's been perverted over time. It just means someone who stands apart from society. All through the comics and the animated series, Ra's al Ghul has always put himself forward as a protector of the Earth, so I'll be interested to see if Oliver takes that mission on too. But just because he is the new Ra's al Ghul doesn't mean that Ra's al Ghul is going anywhere, the original Ra's al Ghul. I know it's going to get a little confusing when we talk about this. Here's my big question for you guys. Now that Oliver is the next Ra's al Ghul, what do you think is going to happen with Ra's al Ghul? Is he going to stick around and train him? Is he going to take off? Really, I don't think that we expect him to go anywhere. Something is going to happen in the finale, and Ra's al Ghul, the original Ra's al Ghul, will continue to be Ra's al Ghul. The really ballsy move, though, I think would be to start Arrow Season 4 with Oliver still part of the League of Assassins. There have been a lot of rumors about time travel happening in the Flash finale. I have no idea if that's going to change things on Arrow. It could, so we'll have to wait to see how the Flash show, the Flash finale, affects what happens on Arrow. One of my other really favorite things about the episode is what Felicity did after they had sex. She wanted to get Oliver out of there, so she went ahead and concocted a plan on her own and just went for it. I think that goes a long way towards addressing complaints that Felicity's been spending the entire season crying or just, riding shotgun. So new episodes of Arrow and the Flash next week. Be sure to subscribe to get my videos. I'm going to try and do a Q&A for this, but I still need to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's probably going to be my next video, and I still have some Daredevil videos to do, so I'm going to try and work all that stuff in. In case you guys haven't seen it, I did a non-spoilery review for Avengers Age of Ultron. Awesome movie. Make sure you guys go see it in IMAX if you can. And you can click here for this week's episode of The Flash. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tomorrow.